scores from different spots on the floor. He can score over top of smaller guards. He's an excellent rebounder.
Dylan Harper, the number 2 overall player in the 2024 class.
He's already a great player. He's a big guard who has continued to grow throughout his high school career.
Cooper Flagg is number 1 overall pick in that 2025 NBA draft.
All right, so the 2024 NBA draft is in the books, and it's never too early, right, to start a 2025 NBA mock draft. So what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Yeah, I wanted to do this for fun because I like to look back on these mock drafts, the initial ones, to see how much changes with these prospects in just a year. Like if I were to do a 2024 mock draft right after the 2023 draft, and when I did it, Justin Edwards would have been a top 10 prospect. DJ Wagner would have been top 10 in a mock. A lot can change over a year's span. So today, I'm going to be doing a lottery mock. The teams in order are pretty much just reverse order on finals championship odds. So I'm sorry, Timberwolves, Celtics, and Knicks fans. Obviously, you guys are competing for something different. And a lot of this just pretty much comes after high school film, Nike Hoop Summit, some EYBL stuff as well. And if you agree or disagree with any of my top 14 prospects, you can let me know down below. This is pretty much a 1 through 14 big board, but just matching them up with the team. Obviously, records will change over time. Picks could be traded, but it's going to be cool to kind of fantasize where these players could end up and how they'd fit on these teams. So we'll start off with the Brooklyn Nets having the number 1 overall pick. I'm going to do something nice for you Nets fans. Gave you the tiebreaker over the Washington Wizards, who could definitely end up with the first overall pick. Obviously, the lottery will have a lot of say in this, but this is going to be a clear 1.1 right now. My top prospect in this draft going into next year's season, it's going to be Cooper Flagg from Duke. Flagg is pretty much the most anticipated freshman prospect in the NBA draft, basically since Zion Williamson back in the 2019 season. So yeah, it's been a little bit. He's more hyped up than Cade Cunningham was at Oklahoma State, than Anthony Edwards was at Georgia, Paolo Banchero at Duke. Yeah, Cooper Flagg is the real deal. He's going to make such a defensive impact right away at Duke. A lot of people are throwing out the Andre Karolinko comparisons. He's 6'9" from Maine. He skipped a grade as well. He reclassified to be in this 2025 NBA draft. He's one of the best shot blockers that I've ever seen coming out of the high school circuit, and he's going to be one of the best players in college basketball next year. He could shoot the ball. He can have a good handle. He can cross guys up. I got to see him in person as well at Hofstra University last year. They took on Wuhai. I saw him cross up somebody on there. He is legit for somebody of his age. He could be a 3-level scorer in this league while also being one of the best defenders in this league. They threw out the Andre Karolinko comparison, like I said. Scottie Pippen has been thrown out there. And it's going to be exciting for once to actually have a top college guy to be talked about all season long. Like obviously this past year, it was Reese Shea and Alex Sarr, and then you also had your Tijon Salons of the world and the Ignite guys. So it's going to be cool to actually talk about a bunch of college prospects in the 2025 season. And this would be somebody that could turn the Nets franchise around after they're going to go through maybe some dark times in the post-Harden, KD, Kyrie era, in the post-Mikal Bridges era that they're about to enter, and Cooper Flagg could be the light at the end of the tunnel for them and could be their franchise player for years to come. So coming in at number 2, I have the Washington Wizards selecting Ace Bailey, a wing out of Rutgers. Yeah, Rutgers is going to be good next year. They got Ace Bailey, and they're going to have another top 10 prospect we're going to talk about. I know it's another wing going to Washington, and I'm not sure if he could play alongside Alex Sarr. We're going to see how the three-point shot is going to look at Rutgers this upcoming season. And Ace Bailey is going to be one of the best athletes in this class. And that's why I love the Thompson twins last year. That's why I loved Ron Holland in this class. Athleticism can play at the NBA level when you're looking at guys that want to get to the rim, that could finish at the rim, and they can use their athleticism that some of these other guys can't to be more efficient at the rim. And that's why I'm a big fan of Ace Bailey right now. He's pretty much a top 3 high school recruit coming into this collegiate season. Going to be playing in the Big Ten, which should be a little bit better. They're adding USC and UCLA, Washington, and Oregon this year. And there's going to be some inconsistencies with his game, and we'll see when it's not going offensively, will he step up defensively? But when it's going offensively, this guy can be a legit scorer in this league with his explosiveness and athleticism. I've seen some Tracy McGrady comps, and yeah, you're going to have him with Bilal Coulibaly on the perimeter there in Washington, which could be kind of fun, with Alex Sarr being the rim protector inside and Bub Carrington running the show as the lead initiator. Coming in at number 3, because I wanted to give them a point guard. Yeah, you could have put Portland or Detroit or Charlotte here. I'm going to give the Utah Jazz the 3rd overall pick, and I'm going to give them Nolan Traore out of France. Yeah, France is going to get another top 5 prospect in this upcoming NBA draft in 2025. And no, I'm not done. There's another French prospect we're going to talk about as well. Nolan is an absolute beast. He's 6'5". I got to watch his Nike Hoop Summit game the other day online, and this dude is going to be such a good rim attacker. attacker. This guy can get downhill as quick as anybody, but he also has a great looking step back jumper that he can avoid with it getting blocked at all costs. Like, he could be with no separation and it's not getting blocked. He's going to be able to get it off. He's a great shooter. He can get to the rim. He scored 45 points in the EuroLeague's like Adidas Next Generation game, and he was the star of that game as well. And like I said, he's one of the best downhill guys in this draft. Beautiful looking handle, and at 6'5" is a modern day point guard, will get teammates involved. And he's actually somebody that could turn this Jazz's franchise around, because the Jazz are in limbo right now. They're not good enough, nearly not good enough to contend for a playoff spot in the Western Conference. Lauri Markkanen's going to be a free agent next year. Are they going to dish out $40-50 million to Lauri? Could actually change the direction of this franchise, because he could lead this team out of this weird limbo period that they are in, and he could be the point guard. You can have Keontae George and maybe Isaiah Collier work out with him in the backcourt. You have Cody Williams, who I'm excited to see this year. Him with Taylor Hendricks would be a lot of fun, and Walker Kessler, and if Lauri Markkanen, if they were to resign him as well. And this would be a really nice future for the Jazz. Coming in at number 4, I got Detroit taking Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey's teammate at Rutgers this upcoming season. I think if the Pistons are picking in the top 5 again, most likely it's not working out with Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham, and obviously you're going to choose to keep Cade Cunningham around and move on from Jaden Ivey. And I think Dylan Harper could be a great combo guard next to Cade Cunningham, because he's going to be able to space the floor. He was once actually the top high school prospect in this recruiting class before Cooper Flagg reclassified. He's the son of Ron Harper, who played in the NBA. He's got great size, long arms, great athleticism, can get to the rim super fast, and he's got a great feel for the game. He's not as athletic as Nolan is or Ace Bailey, but he's somebody that is not going to turn the ball over, that can get his teammates involved, that is going to take good shots, has a high basketball IQ, and like I said, great feel for the game already, and that's what Detroit can use. I think he's going to be a solid defender, and if he's a consistent enough three-point shooter with his ball handling ability and his court vision at Rutgers this upcoming year, could be actually the perfect backcourt partner with Cade Cunningham that they probably thought they were getting in Jaden Ivey back in 2022. At number 5, I got the Portland Trailblazers here. They're probably going to be picking around this range, even with them adding Denny Avdia and Donovan Clingan. I mean, they have a weird roster construction right now at the moment I'm recording this video. Like, are they going to move Jeremy Grant? Probably can't move DeAndre Ayton. I'm sure they're looking to moving Robert Williams. They still got to figure out what they're doing with Anthony Simons. But here at number 5, I have them selecting VJ Edgecombe out of Baylor. So I get to see Edgecombe in person as well in that Lou High Montverde Academy game. And Edgecombe didn't have like the greatest game, but his athleticism stands out. He's actually playing for the Bahamas national team this summer in the Olympics, which is really cool. He's working out with like Klay Thompson, Eric Gordon, DeAndre Ayton. He's 6'5", an explosive athlete, and like Ace Bailey, that's going to play at the NBA level, being this wing that can lock in on the defensive end, that can run in transition. And I think he's going to pretty much step right into Jacoby Walter's role that he was in at Baylor last year. I think he's going to be better than Walter at getting downhill, and definitely a highly touted prospect, more than Walter was when Walter was coming into Baylor, at least a little bit more than last year in my opinion. And he would be really fun in Portland, who could use another athletic wing out there, since they didn't add one in the 2024 draft, since they just ended up with Donovan Clingan. At 6, I have the Chicago Bulls picking here, and I hope they're picking around this range and they're not trying to stay competitive with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. And I have them taking Kaman Malak from Duke, the 7'2" center. Yeah, I'm sure Bulls fans are thrilled to hear me have them taking a center in this upcoming draft. Hopefully they can now move on from Nikola Vucevic. He's from South Sudan. He came through the NBA Africa Academy, something Ulrich Tomchi, who went at the end of this year's draft late to the Toronto Raptors, did. He's got long-term upside. Maybe the feel for the game is going to have to come, and maybe 1 year at Duke isn't going to be enough, but maybe by year 3 and 4 of his professional career, he could be a lockdown rim protecting center at 7'2" with his speed, size, mobility, which I think is great for somebody of his size right now, and athleticism as well, and can anchor a defense for Matas Buzelis and Kobe White and Josh Giddey for a couple years as they're kind of figuring out what they're going to be long term. Coming in at number 7, I have Toronto getting Liam McNeely from UConn. Liam McNeely played with Cooper Flagg at Montverde Academy last year. He originally committed to Indiana and then decommitted, and now is going to UConn, who just won 2 national championships, easily their best recruit, and he's going to be a beautiful complementary piece. This guy is going to be a knockdown shooter, arguably the best shooter out of anybody we have talked about. Spot up, off the dribble, he can work the pick and pop because he's got a good size and frame as well, and Toronto needs shooters. RJ Barrett could be inconsistent. Scotty Barnes could be inconsistent. They just drafted Jacoby Walter, who was inconsistent last year at Baylor at times, but Liam McNeely would be a sure thing from downtown. You're not drafting him to be one of your top guys and a franchise-changing player, but a nice complementary piece to Emmanuel Quickley, who you just paid, and Scotty Barnes, who you just paid. Coming in at number 8 to the Charlotte Hornets, I have Jaleel Bethea, who's currently going to the University of Miami. He's a 2-guard. Bethea is about 6'4", 170 right now, and I think his athleticism is going to be really impressive this upcoming year at Miami. He's going to be a good shooter and has 3-level scorer tendencies, but I think at the worst could be like Jacoby Walter, who we just talked about, and a 3-and-D prospect right away. And going to Charlotte could be perfect. They just drafted Tijan Salon to bridge the gap pretty much between Mark Williams and Brandon Miller on the offensive and defensive ends. And now Julio Bethea could be in between LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, which is something to be excited about. At number 9, I have the San Antonio Spurs getting Hugo Gonzalez out of Spain. So yeah, another international prospect joining Nolan Traore here is going to the Spurs. He's a very accomplished FIBA player already and is just 18 years old. He's a 6'7" wing with guard-like skills. He definitely needs to be a little bit more reliable with his outside shot, but if that comes, could be a really crafty scorer at the NBA level and a nice complementary piece to Wembanyama. At number 10, I have the Sacramento Kings, and I have them selecting Igor Demon out of BYU. This was a shocker when he decided to play college basketball. He played with Hugo Gonzalez, who we just talked about, at Real Madrid, and BYU just hired former Suns assistant coach Kevin Young, who we thought could have been a head coach in this league one day. He's going to BYU to coach them. This is a huge get for BYU in this upcoming collegiate season. Igor has great natural talent. This guy is skilled to play basketball. He's 6'9". He's able to make plays for himself and for others as well. He can create his own shot, but we'll see if there's a lack of physicality and consistency on the defensive end that can make him a top 10 pick in this upcoming draft. But it's definitely really interesting because he could play multiple positions, and that's what Sacramento could use. They could experiment him at the 2, the 3, or the 4. And San Antonio is back on the clock at number 11 with the Atlanta Hawks first round pick. Yeah, they have the Hawks pick next year from the DeJounte Murray trade. That's why I feel like Atlanta can't trade away Trae Young, because they can't afford to lose a top pick in this draft because it's a loaded one. And San Antonio at number 11 is getting Trey Johnson, the wing out of Texas. I feel like he's kind of a throwback 2 guard. He's got a nice mid-range game to him, which, you know, I'm going to love. Like growing up watching Carmelo Anthony and Kobe Bryant, I love guys with a mid-range game. He's got a great competitive gene. He's got that scoring mentality, and he can make some tough shots at the NBA level, in my opinion. I'm excited to watch him this year at Texas. He's got a good size, good frame. He's only going to continue to fill out in his body even more. So like I said, I'm really excited to see him at Texas. He could go as high as 3 in this upcoming draft, in my opinion. So getting him at 11 right now is kind of exciting in San Antonio with him and Hugo going there. At number 12, I have the Houston Rockets selecting, and I have them getting Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina, a sophomore. So yeah, this is our first returning player and non-freshman in this class, which is also kind of exciting as well. Colin Murray Boyles could also go top 6 in this draft. He probably could have been a first rounder in the 2024 draft had he declared. He had a phenomenal freshman year, especially to the end of it for South Carolina. I expect him to explode in his sophomore year. This guy is a defensive mastermind. He can guard multiple positions. He could switch on that end of the floor. He could rebound at both ends. He can crush the offensive glass, the defensive glass. He could score for himself, but I do think he needs to work on his shooting if he wants to be a top pick in this upcoming draft. But at 12 would be a really nice fit in Houston under Ime Udoka, who's also a defensive mastermind. At number 13, I have the Orlando Magic getting Ian Jackson out of UNC. Ian Jackson is a really athletic 2-way guard right now who excelled pretty much as a scorer throughout all his years of high school. I feel like he's also going to be able to play in the clutch when the lights are bright, especially at UNC this upcoming season. He's not going to be fazed by it whatsoever. His athleticism will play, his scoring will play, and I'm intrigued to see who turns out to be the top prospect from UNC this upcoming year. It could be Ian Jackson, it could be Drake Powell, another wing that's a freshman, or it could be Elliot Cadeau, who's staying. He was a guard last year for them. And Orlando just seems to love getting these guys that can dribble, pass, shoot, and defend on the perimeter. And at number 14, it's another French prospect, the second one here in the lottery, Noah Essengay out of France. I think he's a little bit lower than some other guys' mocks and big boards right now, but I think he can shoot up draft boards this upcoming year, kind of like we saw Reece Haché and Tijan Salon. And Essengay is a very fluid game to him. When there's like a loose ball out there or there's chaos, he knows where to be on the floor. He can catch alley-oops, he can run in transition, knows when to cut, knows when to slash. I think there is a raw feel for the game right now, but he's 6'10" as a wing. I don't know what France is doing over there, but it's another freak-like prospect in this upcoming draft. He's going to the Pelicans at 14. Just throw him on the perimeter with Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. It's going to be fun to watch. And obviously there could be a couple guys that could be honorable mentions here as well. Rocco Zikarsky, big man playing in the NBL where Alex Sarr just came from. Dink Pate, who was actually with the G League Ignite last year, but he had to do 2 years there due to his eligibility. So I think he's going to be playing for Mexico City's G League team this upcoming year. Kwame Evans from Oregon, Isaiah Evans from Duke, and Caleb Foster from Duke as well could all be prospects that could go in the lottery in this 2025 NBA draft, which is a year from now. So I hope you guys did enjoy. This was super fun to do. The next time I talk about these prospects will probably be in the fall when I'm ranking my top 30 prospects for the 2025 NBA draft before the collegiate season starts. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. Drop a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy. Love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.